Aye, 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 aye. We're live, guys. I thought I'd get a wee delay just to see if people would get notifications later. Or, I don't know. But I thought I'd do a wee stream because I've done a wee survey, a poll on my community page. I asked if I should do a live stream podcast tonight, even though I've not got really that much to talk about. Well, I have. I've always got something to talk about, especially if there's people in the chat injecting their piece. I hope you have had a good week. My week's been pretty fast. The Monday to Friday, quite a fast week. Quite a tired week. Been up late. Oh, we got one person in there. See, they slowly come in. Don't know how you doing, David. I see your comment there, mate. All right, I'm on the phone, so these streams are a wee bit different from my desktop. I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, there's D. How you doing, man? Still pumping iron. Good to see you, mate. I just thought I'd have another stream. Fuck it. I'm on about a roll with these streams, and people come in and I end up talking for an hour anyway, so. And an hour's long enough, but if someone joins, it could be a few hours. I just seen Robbie Coltrane's died, Fucking Robbie Coltrane. That amazing actor that was in Harry Potter. Poor bastard's got to be remembered as Spraff. Aye, Spraff. Spraff's a Scottish word for talk, a chat. You want to have a wee spraff? You want to have a wee spraff? Are you spraffing shit about me? Are you spraffing shit about me? I don't know how regional it is. I don't know if it's just an Edinburgh slang. It's slang, Scottish slang. Spraff. My other stream was called Blether. And blether, that's another Scottish word for... What does it mean again? Speak incoherently or some shit like that. No iron pumping my own body. No iron pumping my own body. That's Spraff. It's Spraff, David. The old show called Cracker he was into. Oh, Cracker, aye. Was it Cracker? Aye. Was it Cracker? He was like a cop in it, a Scottish Polish guy. Aye. Old Robbie Coltrane. But what other news there is they've got rid of fucking Kwasi Kwarteng. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Kwasi Kwarteng. Is this who decides the fucking how much money we get to spend? I'm not want to state the fucking obvious here, guys, but fuck's sake. We trained these guys in Oxford back in the days to take control of African countries and coups. And if this was the fucking 80s, this Kwasi Kwarteng guy would be a fucking military leader fucking taking over like Nigeria or some shit. Like, why the fuck are these people and they're so... The guy looks like fucking Candyman. He looks evil. Well, this truss looks fucking evil too. Ugh. So like that big long fucking neck and sloping shoulders. Nuns on the run. I am Edinburgh, but I don't live in Edinburgh anymore. I used to be Edinburgh. I moved out of Edinburgh a few years ago because, to be honest with you, the city was getting a bit much. The older I've got, guys, the more I enjoy being away from people. I think that's going to get even worse the older I get. I think the older and older I get, I'm going to be more and more want to be remote, away from people. Especially the way the world's going, guys. Look at the fucking state of the world. What a shit show. Some of this fucking Ukraine shite. Putin has no regrets. So there's a lot of shit going on in China as well. Chinese protests against the government. So we're going to have a winter of fucking protests by the looks of it. Donald Trump reportedly wants to testify before January the 6th committee. London Battersea Power Station reopens. 5 dead, including a police officer in North Carolina shooting. Musk's SpaceX can't fund Ukraine's internet indefinitely. What? Musk's SpaceX can't fund Ukraine internet indefinitely. The fuck was that? Protesters chuck tomato soup over Van Gogh masterpiece. So that's what's been happening in the fucking news. Oh, Nuns on the Run. Aye, Nuns on the Run wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad film. That's what I'm saying. I mind seeing Robbie Coltrane other things before Harry Potter, and now it just seems to be like Harry Potter. That's all you can think of him being. I think he was in a James Bond as well. He was one of the baddies in a James Bond film. He was one of the Russians. Aye. But I noticed Liam posted up something in his community chat about fucking. It was like it's a video, proof of biblical stuff. But anyway, it just got me thinking. Why weren't the pyramids ever mentioned in the Bible? You know, all these great structures, these great monoliths, the Sphinx, you know, these amazing buildings that would have dominated the landscape back in Bible times. In fact, it would have been more impressive back then. So, where all this shit was happening in the Bible, why weren't the pyramids ever mentioned in the Bible? I've got a theory why. And the theory is because Europeans didn't know the fucking pyramids were there until Napoleon dug them out of fucking sand. So that's why they never wrote about the pyramids, because they never knew existed, because Europeans wrote the Bible. That's my point. If it was actual people from Egypt that wrote the Bible or from the Middle East, maybe they would have included the pyramids. But because the pyramids weren't discovered like till a few hundred years, like a couple of 100 years ago, you're under the sand. So there's a big discrepancy in the whole Bible fucking history. Because the pyramids are a massive piece of evidence that there was some great civilization building massive structures. And can't ignore these things, they're huge. Why aren't the pyramids mentioned in the Bible? Or maybe the pyramids are actually newer than we've been told. Well, that's another theory, definitely, mate. That's another theory. But maybe the pyramids were built by fucking Napoleon. That's why they were never mentioned in the Bible, because they never existed during those times. Maybe they never existed. But like I said, what we've seen through evidence, it looks like the pyramids could be quite old. But it is another theory. Kind of, you wouldn't totally throw it out. The Sphinx looks like it's made up of all different parts of things. Like, it looks so disproportionate, like the head and the arms and the lion body and that head attached to it. It just looks. And I think it is. I think the head was added later. I think there was a lion head on the Sphinx at one point, and they added the face later on. What do you think of the notion of flat Earth? Oh man, if you subscribed to me early in this channel, you would have knew exactly my notion of flat Earth. And to be honest, when I started questioning the flat earthers, they gave me some good things to think about. Like I would laugh at them at first, but then when they would put me on the spot and like ask me how fast the Earth spun or how far away the moon was, and I was kind of stumped. I was kind of like, holy shit, I didn't really know. So I would go away and I'd do all my research. I'd find it and I'd look through telescope. I actually got myself fucking right into the flat Earth, like doing experiments and shit like that. And I realised, the Earth is a ball that spins. That's what I found when I started looking at moon phases and eclipses, and I actually filmed them. I filmed eclipses and I filmed the moon phases and I filmed the stars at night. I was doing long exposure photography, like filming the stars and stuff like that, and filming the rotation. Well, it's no, you're not filming the rotation. You're just filming the stars in the sky, but someone's moving, and my logic tells me that rather than all the stars are moving around us, we're spinning. So that's what my logic tells me at the end of the day. Yeah, I saw a 6 hour video that was just loads of things that made me scratch my head. It was probably Mark Sargent or Eric Dubay. If you're coming across their videos, they're like 2015, man. That's like 7 years ago now, when Flat Earth was in its peak. And Mayans and ancient Scots. The Bible saying about a firmament. Well, I think the firmament is practically the atmosphere, man, David. Because although I'm not a flat earther, I don't think we can get outside this atmosphere, like our bodies, the pressures, just everything. I don't think, and just getting the fuel to get us out there, I don't think it's possible for like humans to get through that atmosphere. I don't think it's possible, man. I think there's just too much radiation up there as well. Like the further up you go, the more radiation you're exposed to. Like even pilots wear special clips on their ties. Pilots can only fly for so long because they're exposed to the radiation up there. Us on the ground, we've kind of got a protection for the radiation. We've got the atmosphere. It gets thicker and thicker and thicker. The atmosphere, the lower you get, but the higher you get, the radiation's bad. And so fucking, if you were out in space with no fucking the radiation, you just be frazzled. You know what I mean? I didn't believe that humans can fucking go there. Like it's to me, it's one of the biggest lies. And like I said, I'll stand by that. It's one of the things I feel that we're not going to Mars. We're not going to the moon again. Are we? Fuck. And when I say again, I mean we're not going to try and fake it to the world again. Or maybe they are going to try and fake it again. But I'm not a globe believer now either. Then they make a 6 hour video change your mind though, man. You've got to remember that these videos are very powerful. You've got to remember why suddenly you're questioning. Again, these videos are made to fucking honestly, man. Like Eric Dubay with his videos, can Mark Sargent, and they were very manipulative videos. And they were interesting. They were fucking interesting, I've got to say. But at the same time, like, and there's just not enough evidence for the flat Earth. There's more evidence for a globe Earth than there is a flat Earth. Put it that way. At least the globe Earth can present some kind of model that works. That can include the phases of the moon, the star patterns, the rotations, and the globe Earth can actually show you a representation, even though it's not real. They can actually show you how it all works, and it does work. And but the flat earthers, they can't present fuck all. They've got these azimuthal, equidistant maps with a little sun and moon spinning around above it, and the different around the equator and the different like. Oh, it's just terrible, man. That's where the flat earthers kind of fall flat on their face, is with their models. And the fact that, see, when you go into the flat earth communities, there's so many fucking charlatans, man. Oh my god. I used to make a top 10 charlatan list every new year. Top 10 fucking flat earth charlatan list. And snake oil salesman list. You know what I mean? And who was usually top? It was usually fucking Nathan Oakley or Bob and Jaron. I think Bob and Jaron made the top one time. Pat Steer, Mark Sargent, Martin Liedtke, Antonio Subirats. Fucking, I knew them all. Dell, Beyond the Imaginary Curve. I interacted with most of the flat earth. David Weiss. God. Jason and Ronnie. Mind they nutcases, man. They're still hanging around, man. They actually think they're prophets now. I shouldn't really be arguing with Liam. I should be arguing with they two guys, man. Liam, fucking Jason and Ronnie, because they guys are hilarious. They'll probably be better entertainment. They two guys, man. Like, one of them thinks they're fucking Elijah, and one of them thinks they're Moses or some shit. They think they're the prophets. They were always a wee bit fanatical that way with they never thought they were prophets, but I remember them going on about like the Bible and all that shit quite a lot. Mayan Astro was based on the flat earth. Was it? There is a guy on a channel called Synchronism that spoke of flat earth astrology. Have a look. I will. I think he's called Mark Sargent. I think that's the guy called maybe Synchronism, but there's loads of Mark Sargent. He presented a theory that the fucking stars in the sky are a projection. They're a projection. They're what are they fucking things called that you walk into with all the stars on the sky? An astro globe or some shit like that. How you doing with no mask? Morning, mate. Thanks for coming along. I'm just having a random stream because I done a wee vote. I done a wee poll. If anyone would like me to have a stream, and I got about 14 people. So hey, there's 11 of them at least. That's me scratching my beard, guys. You can hear some weird noise. It's getting quite long. I'm going to have to take a trip up to Scone Palace. I'm doing some Christmas shopping up there, up in Perth. So I'm going for a wee trip up to Perth tomorrow. Syncretism. Right. I'll maybe check him out, man. I'll look back on the stream and look at the chat. Aye. So what is up to this weekend, people? Anyone going anywhere nice? I didn't think the weather's going to be too great, but that's not going to stop me because the weather's not too great all the time in Scotland. It was like 2 degrees this morning, guys. 2 degrees Celsius when I woke up this morning for work. It was fucking freezing. It's still not cold enough for the car windows to freeze or anything like that, but it was cold. Oh, Poncho Pete and Vinyl. Aye, Poncho Pete's still around, man. He's what's he called again? He's got a different name though, Poncho Pete, but he's still kicking about. What was he doing? He's doing all the transgender stuff, Poncho Pete. I didn't care about Vinny. I think Vinny's maybe still kicks about certain chats. I think he was quite in a bad way after the flat earth because somebody got Vinny to drink something. What was it? Was it turpentine or something? And that's what happened, guys. They were fucking in the flat earth. They were in all these wee culty groups. And Vinny and Poncho Pete, they had they had a 24-hour flat Earth hangouts where they were just fucking sitting constantly because there was people all around the world. So when there was people sleeping, there was people awake. So these hangouts just went on forever. And there was a right phasey drinking piss and drinking turpentine, drinking fucking just any shit that shouldn't be drunk. Flat Earth went through a phase where, like, you name something that shouldn't be drunk, they'll fucking drink it. Oil. Oh, oil. I will drink oil because oil's good for it's the Earth's blood and it belongs inside of us and it's natural and it's oil. Oil's drink. What the fuck? You drinking oil? What the fuck? And turpentine. Oh, yeah, turpentine. Yeah, it's great for you. What the fuck? And they'd be drinking bleach next, and they were drinking a certain type of bleach. What was it? MMS. Aye, that was it. MMS. Thank you very much. I actually done a video on that fucking thing. MMS. I was calling it the fucking miracle cure, fucking whatever it was. But aye, Vinny fucked himself up with the MMS. I think he ended up in hospital with it. Liam's channel. His channel's called was it Torag Red Green or some shit like that? Torag Red Green. I don't know why he's using that name. I've got a funny feeling Liam's a wee bit ashamed of this whole thing. And if you really stand by, if you really think you're telling the truth and the facts, you shouldn't really be ashamed. And that's what it brings to question sometimes. Like, if he doesn't want his face up there, and if he doesn't want what he says scrutinised and sort of pushed out there, that brings me to question, like, does he really stand by it? You know what I mean? Because I don't care if people use my face and use my quotes, because I stand by kind of what I say, and I'm not embarrassed by it. I've been good, Ananak. I liked your video. I didn't comment on your video, but I liked the air conditioning video, man. That looks complicated as fuck, man. All the pipes and fucking. I'd be scared to go inside that thing in case it blew up. But I suppose if you know what you're doing with these things, they're not complicated. You know what I mean? It's like anything. If you're learned at the trade, looking inside one of these air conditioning units, it'll just be like nothing. I mean. So Nomad says, Jesus, the strange little blood over in Tent Group 2. Aye, it was strange, aye. I think they went as far as fucking eating their shit, I think. Nah, I don't think it went that far, but I think they were bordering on eating their own feces. Because even the satanic stuff, getting the whole, what was it called? When they were drinking the blood and they were mixing, what's it called? Something. Oh, I can't mind what it was, man. It's disgusting anyway. Fucking disgusting. But I've been good at that guy, man. I've been working all week. Pretty tired. I kind of just ramble on nonsensical stuff, but I suppose that's. I think, man. I think what I'm talking about. I tore a red green, something like that. Or Torag red green. Yeah, they were live for about a year. Aye, so everyone's aware of the flat Earth that's in this domain. Aye, the flat Earth, man. It was good times. I enjoyed it, man. See, when I look back on the flat Earth, man, fucking, they were good times. You can make a montage. I could make a montage of the good times in flat Earth, and they'd probably outweigh the bad times. Yeah, the shit times. There were some good laughs, put it that way, in the flat Earth. Some good mixy people coming together. That's what I liked about the flat Earth, the mix, the sort of artistic element as well. There was this very strong artistic element within flat Earth because it takes an abstract thought to think about the flat Earth. Again, it's even to think about globe Earth because you can't physically see the whole Earth. You have to kind of think abstract because every day you see the Earth as flat. When you walk outside, everywhere looks flat. So just to visualize a globe Earth in your mind, you have to kind of think abstract. And I wonder what's more abstract, in fact, try to visualize a flat Earth or a globe Earth. Because when you think about it, like if you're trying to visualize, if you see flat Earth every day when you walk outside, if you didn't see the curve, you just see flat land. Well, it's logical for you to sort of visualize a flat Earth. So it isn't really abstract. It doesn't really fit any abstract thinking. Globe Earth was probably abstract thinking back in the day when everyone thought about flat Earth. When everyone thought the Earth was flat, when that first person came out with, hey, there's a ball, that would have been quite abstract. Effie is dead, says Thomas. Aye. You're right, man, it is dead. You still got the Klinger honours, Ken, that cling on for that. The glory days. Glory days. Old fucking Bruce Springsteen song. But aye, the flat Earth did hit its peak. And it'll probably be another 10 years. It'll probably take another 10 years. Probably come around again. Ken, the flat Earth will come around again. Ken, like just a bad fucking fashion. I mean, it will circulate again. They always do, these ideas. There's hardly any original ideas out there, really. And they do always do a full circle. Just like music and fucking, and everything just repeats itself, man. It's like fucking Groundhog Day. Has anyone seen any Paul Cook videos? Who the fuck is Paul Cook? On the third day, Effie rose again. That's why I get paid good money and I know my trade. Thanks for stopping by, Jen. Nah, it's interesting to see, and it's just kind of, it just kind of shows people, Anunnaki, that can, when they call you an idiot or call you this or that you're a skilled man. You're a man of trade. Learning a skill, it takes time, it takes fortitude, it takes patience to learn stuff. You need to be patient. But Earth fat. Flat Earth is dead. Why is Jay talking? Because I've still got the fucking remnants of the Flat Earthers in my chat. I'll never lose that, I think. I think I've got people subscribed to me from the Flat Earth. I'll just never get rid of. They're just there now, permanent, forever. I don't know why, because I never kind of supported the Flat Earth. I was never a Flat Earther. I did play with the idea, I've got to say. I did try and get into the mind of a Flat Earther. I did try that. Tried to get into the groups and get friendly with people and try to think about it. It has been, has it? Fuck. It's been heavily censored. That's a stupid statement, that. If anything, the Flat Earth was one of the biggest searched, one of the biggest pushed things on the internet. I think 2015 or 16 was probably the Flat Earth was the biggest thing, like on YouTube, and it was getting pushed everywhere. You couldn't fucking avoid any of it. And same with these videos that tie in with the Flat Earth, like the fucking no clouds on Flat Earth and no mountains on Flat Earth and fucking there's giants and fucking all this shite. All tied in with the Flat Earth. The Flat Earth got plenty exposure. Plenty. And I think it was deliberate. I think NASA, this is my theory about why the Flat Earth became so big back then, right? You see, a lot of us were looking into the moon landings. Kind of like when the internet started, when the YouTube started picking up, there was a lot of good moon landing videos and people debunking the moon landings. And fucking, there was a guy called the Jesuit Order, Return of the Jesuit Order, something like that, or Beware of the Jesuit Order. And he was doing brilliant debunking videos at NASA. And the space station and the fucking moon landings, and he was just debunking NASA. He wasn't a flat earther. He was just a NASA debunker. And do you know what? Fucking he got shut down because of, well, he was kind of a erratic guy anyway, but he started getting tied in with the flat Earth, and that's why I seen it as this flat Earth was a psyop to discourage people who were actually debunking real stuff like the fucking moon landing and stuff like that. As soon as the flat Earth came along, people just laughed at it. People laughed at people that talked about the moon landings. Oh, you're just a flat earther. So now, when you don't believe in the moon landings, you get classed as a flat earther, almost. But that's what kind of happened, and it was almost like a psyop, the flat Earth, to discourage people and to like get people away from looking into NASA, because that was where it was happening. Again, in the flat Earth, there was a lot of NASA debunking. Jeranism done some brilliant fucking videos on debunking NASA. I've got to say, Jeranism, he does some good stuff. Same with Eric Dubay. I can't really criticise our NASA stuff. Again, they've done a lot of good NASA stuff. And even that first guy, the first time I ever looked into Flat Earth, it was that, what's his name? The NASA channel. What was his name again? Yeah, the blonde guy. The comedian, the stand-up comedian, the blonde guy. That was the first time I ever seen the Flat Earth, was through him. And there's Orphan Red, Sasha. Hey, what are you saying? It takes focus and sheer will, and be patient, one step at a time. Get anyone to where they're heading in this amazing life. You're correct, Jed. Push back then censored. 2016 was when I got into Flat Earth, says D. And Anakai says, because Jed is trying to revive Earth, she will cheat on him soon with new breed. The P900 zoom lens were coming out, so they set up FE to come out, get big, and then get ridiculed and torn down by shill globlings as zoom lenses prove FE. Don't know about that. I prefer my NASA theory, where there was too many people digging into the NASA stuff, and they had to like poo on the NASA debunkers by throwing in Flat Earth, and they were just overshadowed. It's what you call muddy in the water. Muddy in the water. Again, it was becoming clear when we were analysing the moon stuff. It was becoming clear it was bullshit. And then the Flat Earth got a hold of it, man, and it just fucking made it a joke. It made it a joke. So, sane person. Believers will believe whatever they're told to believe, whether it's Flat Earth or whatever else. Yep. Jed, don't think it's not going away. People have argued about the shape of the Earth probably for millennia. Well, I suppose when they get bored, you know what I mean? Because I can think about a million things better to argue about. That was probably for rich fucking Greeks sitting around in circles, sitting in caves. Okay? People sitting in Plato's cave talking about fucking Flat Earth. When there is real issues going on, okay, like the economy. Fuck the Flat Earth. What about the economy? What about immigration? What about employment? What about crime? What about... There's so many things you could speak about than fucking Flat Earth. I mean, because, do you know what? See, at the end of the day, guys, this society is so weird and is so accepting of everything. Again, we're living in a society today where a full-grown man at 50-year-old can turn around and say he's a 6-year-old girl. We've just to play along with that shit. You know what I mean? We've just to play along with that shit. So, guys, isn't it absurd for me to think that, again, we could tell the fucking world to the next thing day. We could prove the Earth's flat. And the next thing day, people would just get all along with their lives. Oh, the Earth's flat, Ken. They would just accept it. They would just accept it. They wouldn't even argue it. Ken, if the news came out and said to the world, oh, the Earth's flat, people would just get along with their lives. It's not going to change the world in any fucking way. The world won't change. People will just accept anything and just to get along. Flat Earth implies design, Jed. Why? How does it imply design? Why doesn't globe Earth imply design? Globe Earth. And look at the way the globe Earth functions. It's almost like a clock. Globe Earth, the way the eclipses work, and it's just it could be like a clock. The way everything spins around in the sky. And I know I said everything that spins around in the sky because that's how we perceive it. You always get the people go, see, it's spinning around in the sky, we're not spinning. But that's quite an outlandish claim to say that we are just sitting still while all these fucking objects in the sky are moving at thousands of whatever miles an hour, and we're just sitting still looking at them. Of course, we must be moving. It's pretty logical. The economy, lol, as if FMSM haven't shoved the economy down our throats enough already. Only expect more. I know, but the economy has like real life effects on us. And when you go to the shop and try and buy a pint of milk, and this actually has real life effects on us. This is what I mean by there's better things to talk about than the flat Earth because you could be told the Earth's flat and tomorrow, and how's that going to change the fucking Earth? Most people day to day are just going to get on with their fucking lives. It's not going to change fuck all. Sorry to say, bust your. There'll be people out there like, I told you so, I told you so, and people are like, right, you told me so, right? I've still got to go to my work tomorrow. I still got to fucking put food on the table. It's not going to change the world. You know what I mean? As the potato turns, as the potato turns, but just a steer. Ah, the potato, eh? Hot potatoes. She was a strange one, eh? She's probably got another channel somewhere else. And like she's created another channel somewhere else, man. She's hiding somewhere. She's such a narcissist. She needs to be fucking somewhere. You know what I mean? So a lot of people will be wondering where she is, but she'll have a channel somewhere talking about some shit like cats or fucking veganism or. I don't think she wants to talk about fly earth anymore. Put it that way. Eclipses? Do you mean like selenium jet? What when the sun's rays bounce, deflect off the atmosphere and hit it? I tried to reason with FE folks, but they kept banning me. Even tried to understand their theory and asked them to prove it. At least, how big is FE? Well, that's the thing. The flat Earth never really had anything. They never had anything. They never had any evidence, really, solid. All they could do was try and poke holes in the globe Earth. They could sit all day and go, "Oh, look at those photos are fake," or there's no such thing as this, or no such thing as volcanoes and fucking all this kind of stuff. But they would never show you any evidence how their theory was true. There's Paradise found. What a strange name, eh? Paradise found. Flat Earth is a psychological to hide the correct model. Go about your day. Subject, missing patty. Aye, missing patty. It's just nostalgic. Like now, I've got to. It's been that long now that when I talk about flat Earth, it's pure nostalgia. Like it is. I've got to say, I have flashbacks of Nathan Oakley's cheesy fucking corny arse teeth, and his fucking crazy ass smile, and his fucking and Antonio, God, his red hoodie, and the way he spoke, man, that fucking accent he had. Oh God. The British fly earthers were fucking nuttier than the Americans, I've got to say. They're more fucking flamboyant. I think the American fly earthers tried to stick to like I don't know, I think they took themselves quite serious, the American flat earthers, whilst the British ones were fucking just like a circus, man. It was crazy. In between Martin Lika and fucking Dell and fucking Nathan Oakley, like you had these characters, they were all so different. But when you looked at the American side of the flat earth, they seemed all sort of generic. They seemed all the same. And they never really had any individual quirks like Martin Leakey and Dell, and they've all got their character and they're all individuals. When you looked over the American side, you've seen Jeranism and Eric Dubé and all these sort of monotone Mark Sargent, and all these monotone characters that weren't really, they were fucking bland compared to the British guys. Like the British guys were fucking mental in the flat earth. Actually, the British flat earthers carried it for a while, like because even when flat Earth died, the British flat earthers, man, they carried the drama. You know what I mean? With our crazy meetups, and they were in the meetups well before the Americans. It was hilarious. There is absolutely no proof for flat Earth or globe Earth, so it's obviously division. Want to play? Well, I said that as well. Again, it was just another thing to divide the people. But most people, when I say divide the people, most people wouldn't get into this argument. I mean, they'll discuss it for 5-10 minutes, but they usually get these hardcore flat earthers and they come across like priest-like, and there was no point arguing with these kind of people or even debating with them. A lot of flat earthers come across like religious nutcases, and it's like try to convince a religious person that God doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to tell a flat earther that flat Earth doesn't exist. So these days, I remember going to the 80-person FA meet, good times. I remember you going to that day, man. I made a video about that. I think I had DMX lose my mind. No, was it DMX had done that? You're gonna make me lose my mind up in here. And I done the meetup with you and Martin. It was like a fucking. You were all like sitting under trees and shit. It was like a right hippie meeting, man. You had your lightsabers and you were jumping off trees and shit and then backflips. And Jamie Brown was there with his like Roman haircut. My favourite was when Patricia went to Britain dressed as Mary Poppins. Aye, when she burnt the flatbread. And Antonio was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You fucking burnt the flatbread, get the fuck out of here." That's a bad English accent. What was that? I didn't know what accent I was trying to do. I was trying to do an Antonio accent, but Antonio's accent was so fucking weird and individual. That's what I'm saying. The British characters, they were like fucking spitting image characters, man. They were all quite unique. P. Thomas, there are atheist, self-defining fly earthers. Look at the Peter and Pete YouTube channel. Well, that's what I found as well, people, that the flat earth made a lot of people religious. And it made them question their faith. And people who didn't believe in God, once they got in the flat earth, suddenly there was a God, because this must have been created. The snow globe must have been created by God. But why didn't they think? What the weird thing is, it was why didn't they think a God made the ball earth? Do you know what I mean? It's like, why did it take the flat earth for them to click into religion? And if you look at the ball earth and the universe and whatever, it's still amazing. It still could be created by somebody. It doesn't take a flat earth to think that there was a God that created everything. Daytime, nighttime, 60-60, baby. Or was it 60-60 lady? I fuck knows. But he did mention Martin Leakey sucking some shit. Sucking Nathan's balls or something. Martin Leakey sucked Nathan's balls. I pure spotted a Freemasonry fucking symbolism in that video, man. We had like, it's just faint. It comes up like faintly for like a half second. It's pure subliminal shit, like. And I'm not sure what Antonio and his buddies were up to, man, when they brought out that video. That was a coup. Like, that fucking video was a coup. He was trying something there. He was trying some kind of experiment, and it could have succeeded. It could have went viral, that kind of video, because it was catchy. It might even still go viral in the future. Someone might find that in the future and go, "What the fuck is this?" That might be like pure genius in the future. It's Antonio Subaret's daytime, nighttime song. So that D says that's one good thing about FE. It did lead me away from atheism. But why did it lead you away from atheism? Why didn't just your perception on the Earth in general? It didn't matter if you thought was it a globe or not before flat Earth. But why didn't you question atheism when you were before you got into flat Earth? That's what it was. Almost like I don't know why the flat Earth triggered something spiritual in people. It must have been like this kind of almost like a spiritual thing. They were having a laugh. It was hilarious. Well, Antonio said otherwise. He said he was deceived by his friends. That scene where he was climbing at the drain, that was meant to be him climbing at the fucking the moon lander, the fucking lunar module. See when Antonio climbs at the sewer. Oh god. Apparently it was blue screen, so he was meant to be like climbing at the lunar module. That's what he said. Because FE woke up my brain. It did get you thinking. You could have just done a fucking crossword, but aye. Mark Sargent works for the Tavistock Institution. That video was amazing. Antonio was hilarious, especially his ISS and Moon LEM satire vids. He was quite good actually. He did make me laugh on certain fucking times, but he did get me angry a lot of times too, because he used to just talk shit. And he used to say things in such a way that you thought he was some kind of fucking messiah. And he was another one that was getting the whole guru fucking complexion. That crossword would have been easier. Paradise found truth. I know he worked for a data mining co. God knows who these people work for. But they were definitely injected into the flat earth en masse. And their stuff it goes back to whoever said earlier in the chat that it was getting covered up. Flat earth wasn't getting covered up. Fuck, you put flat earth in the title in your videos, you were getting seen. You were getting fucking seen. Like, people were just jumping onto the flat earth just to get their fucking faces seen. I mean, I never done it, because the thing is, how I started getting myself into flat earth is I came across a Nathan Oakley video. I commented on his video. He fucking deleted my comment, so I thought I'll make a reply video, and it ended up being a 3-part video thing, and it ended up being quite good, and I just continued from there. So, did you hear Lord Stephen Christ died? I heard it. Was it last year he died? Was it last year he died? Was it this year? Well, I've known for a while that he's been dead. So what's that? No mask. Flat Earth somehow gives people a feeling of belonging and being home, rather than the lost rock in space. But the lost rock could be on its way home too. Don't reckon we'll ever truly know. All I know, guys, is I'm just going to fucking appreciate what's out in front of me, what I can see. I don't give a fuck about what I can't see. Why should I? It's not relevant. If I can't see it, what's the point? Oh, there's Adrian. How you doing, man? Nice to see you, dude. Adrian! Adrian! How did LSC die? Was it like a heart attack or something? He was young, he was only a few years older than me, I think. I think he was in his 40s, like 45 or 46. I'm sure he was in his 40s, mid 40s. So Paradise says Hegelian dialectic arguing over two wrong answers. Oh, there's Syntho Laba. How you doing, mate? Hope you got everything sorted out. Man, I'm fucking tired for a long day. It's good to see everybody starting to pile in now. See, it makes me wonder, like, when people get notifications, if they get like little bursts. Like some people get some notifications, and then I don't know. Aye, so Robbie Coltrane's deep, guys, eh? Poor old Robbie Coltrane. I suppose he's one of the better Scottish actors. He never really, I was going to say, never really hid his accent, but fucking most of his roles, he probably had some kind of foreign accent, like the Russian accent. Or what was he in Harry Potter? Was he Scottish in Harry Potter? Because I never watched the Harry Potters, guys. So was Robbie Coltrane Scottish? Did he have a Scottish accent in it, or was he like an English guy? Paradise says cardiomyopathy, vax in the nut house. All right, guys, that reminds me. There's vaccine fucking signs going up already around Edinburgh and my area. Vaccine centre fucking signs going up. Obviously it'll be for the flu, but it'll be COVID as well. They're going to push the COVID vaccine this year, even when it's not fucking around, just to say, oh, this is to prevent it, because all the centres are popping up, man. You'll start noticing at the side of the road, guys, these yellow signs, they're like roadwork signs, and it's like vaccine fucking facility, fucking. But they're popping up all around the town, vaccine centre. So there's going to be big fucking. I'm going to stay away. I've never been vaccinated for this crap, and I never will be. They've got to drag me to that place, man. They've got to drag me to that place. Unconscious. I'm worried about you all this winter. I don't know, like, I think I'll survive. I've got a good feeling. I think a lot of this shit. I think we've been through a lot worse. I think our ancestors have fucking probably been through a lot worse than what we're going through right now, guys. It's all about perspective. Maybe it will be cold this winter, but maybe we'll just have to put extra layers on. Maybe we'll just have to be vigilant, guys. You know what I mean? So whining, get on with it, knuckled in. Then you let the bastards get you done. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing, Motor? Summer's coming. Summer's coming for Cleveland Motor, you lucky bastard. Because he's in New Zealand. So he's been freezing his bollocks off all for the last few months while we've been basking in the sun. Now it's going to flip. Well, it's nearly Halloween here, guys. It's getting to that sort of time of year where it's getting darker at night, and it's getting that smell in the air. Can that smell? I don't know what that smell is. Is it rotten vegetation? It's maybe the leaves rotting away. So the leaves are falling. Just that smell in the air. It's almost like there's something burning. Store food and gas, maybe. Aye, maybe. But the thing is, that's the thing about Britain. And all these rich people live here. So and if we're gonna go poor, everybody's gonna go. If the shit hits the fan for us here, the shit hits the fan for everybody. So until I see these motherfuckers jumping on private jets and fucking off at Britain, see when you see all these politicians and just say the elite class in Britain start disappearing, that's when you should start worrying. Because they live in the same island as us here in Britain. And if the shit hits the fan, we're just going to turn up at their doors. You know what I mean? Simple as that. Simple as fucking that. And what we're going to freeze while they sit in fucking their mansions. Don't you think so? So until, like I said, that I think that'll be the warning when you see these people fucking off in planes, private planes, fucking off to like islands or some shit. You know that your country's going to go in pure chaos, anarchy. But right now, I think they're just scaring us with bullshit, guys. Of course, it's getting tighter, but we're still walking about with the internet. We're still on our mobile phones. We're still, and people are still buying stuff. They're going to keep squeezing our wallets until we can't buy our luxuries. Okay? People are still buying luxuries. That's the thing. It's as tight as it is getting. People can still smoke their cigarettes. People can still buy their alcohol. And until that stops, that's when it's going to fucking get bad. Right. We'll be okay. Across the pond they have Crisco heaters. Now Crisco would be a bit ritzy for Blighty. We'll have Trex heaters. Jesus, what the fuck are you talking about, wee Thomas, man? You're on your own wee planet. They're going to let all hell loose before this election. I can feel a Labour government sneaking in. You can feel the public opinion getting swayed now against the Tories. Now Boris has gone, the big friendly teddy bear. You can just see, especially with the candy man, getting this candy man putting this tax on this tax that kind of fucking plummeted the pound. He almost destroyed our economy in fucking like one singular swoop. Fucking the candy man. And like I said before, this Candyman guy, man, if he was like kicking around in the 80s, he'd be like a leader of some fucking socialist African revolution country, injected by the British, because all these guys were educated in Oxford and fucking Cambridge, all these African tyrants. And this guy, he's just living in the wrong decade, man. He just became the chancellor. I mean, and he's fucked up big time. He's the fall guy anyway. He's obviously a fall guy as well. And he's not making decisions. But it's crazy that we've got these kind of people making decisions in our country. I mean, total candy men. Evil fucking candy men. YouTube is going to become an advertising app. It already is. Fucking hell. That's how it keeps itself going. Like, it's not going to become that. This is why I kind of pride myself on just no monetization, because you didn't get any adverts here, man. Maybe sometimes if I've played a song, in one of my videos and they just hit me with the money. Well, I didn't get any money for it. Whoever's song it was gets some money for it. I like to pride myself on a channel that you're not going to get interrupted midstream with a fucking advert. Like, what the fuck? I've been watching live streams and an advert comes on a live stream. Fucking what the fuck? Adverts on live streams, on podcasts. And now I'm finding myself just turning off the videos, Ken. If the adverts are too long, if I'm sitting watching a video and I get interrupted with like a 30 or a minute long video advert, I'll just turn it off. So Motor says my streams require confirm age 4 times. Wonder why that is, mate. You punch hell, demons in your barn, and what's the other things you punch? Cats. Right, I'm gonna go to the little boy's room. Be back in a second, guys. You just chat away in the chat. Chat. Aye, 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 aye. V. Thomas is on a roll here. Oh my. You wouldn't think to stoke up fear to control people and turn their minds away. Well, that's what they do, V. Thomas. You're right. What they do, they create a scenario, and then they come in and pretend to rescue us, and then suddenly we support them even more than before the scenario. Right, guys, fucking, I've been on an hour already. It feels like hardly said anything. There's quite a bit of sport on at the weekend there. There's boxing, there's bare knuckle, there's UFC, there's fucking. I like my combat sports, guys. I like to watch combat sports. I fell out of love with football a few years ago. I started taking a wee. I started looking back into it again because my he's took an interest in football. But I'm going up to Perth tomorrow, guys, to buy a flintlock pistol and a sword, a fucking like a claymore. I think it's a claymore. I'm trying to remember how big it was when I seen it. It's fucking huge, leather handle and stuff. I might even do a stream show you guys. It's going to be my son's Christmas. Did you see the Florida Surgeon General's press release this week? Now, what happened there? The Florida Surgeon General's press. Who's the Florida Surgeon General? Who's that? Is he like the leader of the surgeons? The plastic surgeons? Well, Liz Truss has got some knockers on her though, yeah. Jesus Christ. She'll probably get through this just because they're knockers. They'll save her. Knockers will save her. Liz Truss's knockers. You've no noticed, guys. Look at Liz Truss. She's got some knockers on her. Like that's what'll get her through this turbulent time. Football, soccer, rugby, NFL. Joseph Ladapo. I've just not got a clue. I've missed something there, mate. Is this an ongoing story? I didn't really pay much attention to American stuff unless it's really important stuff, kind of like if it's like a big event. But politics, American politics is fucking cringy. Like, great boxing tomorrow. Aye, Haney and Cambosa. That should be a good fight. Haney obviously got the upper hand in the first fight. Maybe Cambosa will come out a wee bit stronger this time. But Wilder's fight is he's fighting Hellenius. Wilder versus Hellenius as well. That should be an interesting fight. Just to see if it's the end or if it's just going to be a fixed fight. Because Hellenius is one of Wilder's old sparring partners, so he'll probably fucking just take a dive. He'll take a dive for £1,000,000. We'll see. We'll see what happens there with the Hellenius Wilder. But aye, Haney, Cambosos. But I wouldn't say Haney's pound for pound best just because he beat Cambosos the first time. And that's because who did Cambosos beat to become pound for pound? Tito. Is it Tito? But there's quite a lot of fighting going on at the weekend, man. We pay for honesty instead they give us circuses and bread. Oh, right, aye, with that. Right, I seen something about that guidance to avoid injecting under 40s. Aye, I'm sure Jamie Brown possibly mentioned that. Where did I see that? I did see that Syntho Labo somewhere about not giving over. No, is it aye? Giving over 40s the jab, but no under 40s. They weren't to give under 40s the jab. And I'm 40 next month, guys. God, Jesus. So hopefully that rules came in now. Now that I'm 39, and that's it. I was 39 when they put that rule in. So fuck you. I'm still 39 now. I've still got like a month and a bit before I'm 40, man. Fucking 40, guys. Oh, I know I'm going on about it a bit, but I can't get over. I can remember going to my mate's dad's 40th. I mind us going out on a night out, going clubbing and everything with my mate's dad on his 40th. And I mind thinking my mate's dad was like just an old man. Jesus. Life's so short, guys. You fucking life's too short. The nasty thing about time in life is that before you realize that life is short, it's too late. It's too fucking late. It's kind of cruel. It's over, mate. Aye. I suppose 40 is a new 30, they're saying. You kind of do see that with the athletes and stuff. You see that people are looking after themselves more. There's less smoking and people are eating better. And so you even see within the sports that most of the champions, the heavyweight champions in boxing especially, like they're probably in their 30s, kind of early 30s. Where back in the day, the early 30s, that was time to retire. And the heavyweights can last forever as well, because they never really lose the power. I got old fighting the flat earth. A lot of people got fucking old fighting the flat earth, man. A lot of people died fighting the flat earth. Or or fighting for the flat earth. God, we've watched people dying in this, like in the flat earth scene, which is that's the thing. If you're in a scene so long, like 7 years, like the flat earth, if you're in like a scene that long, and you know there's maybe thousands of people that you've came across within the live chats, and of course there's going to be deaths again after so many years. That's just the way it is. Just like a giant community. It shows you how big the flat earth community is, that you're aware of so many deaths within that community, okay, because it was so huge and there were so many different branches. There was a lot of Scottish flat earth, I was going to say. They were pretty overrepresented, the Scots. It's not flat, earth has topography, highs and lows. It's demonstrably level. Oh my god. Same with those words, demonstrably, kind of like Bob Nodell. He'd have a new word for you every. He used such word salad. He loved that demonstrable. This is demonstrable. God, such a pie, that guy. Oh, and his wife, man, she was fucking. she was another. She was on another level. She was on a different planet. She wasn't on the flat Earth or the globe Earth. She was on her fucking. She was still trapped on an LSD trip for the fucking 70s, I think. Bob Nodell's wife. Fucking hell. Crazy ass bitch. Anyone hear from Tim Osman? Tim Osman was in my chat. Um, Maybe you are Tim Osman. Fuck knows, but he was in my chat the other day there. Last hangout, he was there. I've always got time for Tim, man. Always got time for Tim. I had lots of fucking hangouts and conversations with Tim. Listen to Tim. Tim had loads of good stuff to talk about. But he would, same again, Tim got trapped. Tim got trapped in that fucking, he's trying to convince flat earthers. And I was trying to tell him that you can't convince these people, get what I mean? It's like you become the idiot. Because if you keep repeating something with the same result, again, that's the definition of insanity. Or stupidity, one of the two. But these people, they got drones, they got this, they got. I done it for a while. I was trying to disprove, Ken. I was trying to show them, and I realised that, do you know what? Some people just want to believe in the flat Earth. You just have to let them believe in it. Fucking hell. And I got that. That's what I realised at the end of it all. You need to just let people believe in what they want to believe. You know what I mean? Because then you're just a dictatorship. You know, some kind of tyrant. You didn't let them believe they're like 6-year-olds and shit when they're like 50-year-old men. That's just bullshit. That is just fucking bullshit. But when it comes to like belief systems, like the shape of the earth, fucking hell. If someone wants to believe the earth's flat, man, what harm is it doing to the world? There'll always be a minority at the end of the day. Flat earth. Always. John LeBon, oh, he's another guy, man. He's living in fucking like Moldova or some shit. Like, nah, not that bad. Moldova is really poor, but he's living in like an Eastern European. Is it Bulgaria or some shit? Or Romania, maybe? John LeBon. I checked his website like a few weeks ago just to see if he was still putting out stuff. Aye, and John LeBon's still active. He's still doing his shit, man. He's still plugging he's still trying to make you get a subscription, or he's only going to get a wee bit of this and a wee bit of that. He's still his salesman self, John LeBon, man. He's always had that salesman type, and he's always valued his information. Put it that way, John LeBon. He's always valued it. He's always put some monetary value, because the way he sees it is his time and time's money. Poncho Pete. What about Alex Jones getting fucking fined nearly £1 billion for the whole, again, what's it called? Handy Cook. The Flandy Cook story. I didn't really want to say it because my stream will probably explode into thin air. But aye, that was pretty fucking harsh. Like, I need to go back and maybe delete some videos. When I heard that shit with Alex Jones, like, holy shit, maybe I should delete some videos, like. Because when I looked into that stuff too, man, even before Alex Jones, man, there was always something a bit weird about everything that happened at that event. Same with the Dunblane massacre. We had the Dunblane massacre in Scotland, and it was similar. It was fucking weird. Getting some weird Freemasony guy, man, done all that shit. He was connected with the police. The guy that done the Dunblane stuff. There was loads of weird stuff happening behind that as well. So, like I said before, like the way Flat Earth was used to discredit the real researchers looking into the moonlanders and NASA and stuff like that, the whole Sandy Hook thing could be, again, there could be a lot of higgery jiggery going on there. But they throw in guys like Alex Jones to like take you off the scent. Again, when there probably was something fucking sinister happening there that day. But when you throw Alex Jones in the mix, it makes the general public just fucking like laugh at any idea about questioning the narrative. So, like, these people are injected to muddy the water. Alex Jones, David Icke, fuck it, all these people, man. If you're seeing them, they've been injected into your fucking consciousness, man, by somebody. It's numbers, Kevin. I mean, when you see millions, when they're getting millions of views and millions, you just need to look at the numbers and go, how the fuck is this got like 1 million views? I like my small audience, man. I like it. I get nervous around a lot of people, so I've never really complained about how many people are watching, again, or how many people are in my chat, or Sometimes I do when there's no fucking chat at all. Okay, when I see there's like maybe a dozen people watching it and there's no chat, I'm like, what the fuck? But it's late. Some people are just here to listen. You know what I mean? And take the piss at me. Some people just like listening to my voice and they fall asleep to it. I remember Validation Boys, he said that to me, that his missus, he said, listen to my voice and fall asleep. Uh, nah, what she really used to do was listen to my voice and fantasize about me. Sorry, VB, that's what was really happening. Exactly, how do you pay $1 billion? It's maybe just to set an example. That's what I'm saying. This Alex Jones is he's a sacrificial lamb for all the conspiracy theorists out there. Because he's the main one. You know what I mean? He's seen as the biggest platform and the biggest. He's seen as one of the most outspoken against the so-called elites. Well, he's not really. Okay, but as internet culture goes, Alex Jones is seen as one of the biggest people speaking against Sandy Hook and all these fucking Boston bombings and all that shit. So he was a sacrificial lamb used as an example. Because like I said, as soon as I seen that, I was like, shit, I want to delete videos. It's like, if he's getting done for that, like that, people are going to be even more scared to question certain events. In case the victim's families, the victim's family didn't like that. So you can't say fuck all now. Or you're getting £1 billion fine for all those victims' families. Need money. Do you know what I mean? He was a sacrificial lamb for that shit, man. He was made an example for the rest of us real researchers. And I don't know what you say truthers, because even truthers, it's fucking cliche shit now. Okay, but we're fucking, that's what gives us meaning. Ken, when we look at this crazy fucking world out there, guys, man, all this shit is happening. If you can find a wee tiny increment of truth, a wee bit of light out there, man, fucking hold on to it. You know what I mean? Then you let it go. It's precious. Again, when you look at all that shit that's happening there, there's so much disinfo. But that's all we've got. And if we want to call ourselves truthers, fuck it. Sounds cliche, but that's what we're looking for, guys. That's what gives us meaning, Ken. "95% of everything he says is true." Well, that's what they do. They fucking mix in truth with the bullshit. Just like David Icke with his predictions about the BBC and the fucking Jimmy Savile. And David Icke had it nailed like fucking 20 years ago, that guy. But then he started talking about alien people and the Queen being a fucking reptile, and again, they muddy the water. So they deliberately discredit themselves so people lose interest in the subject altogether. They need these monkeys, they need these fucking clowns to shit all over the chessboard. You know what I mean? You need the pigeon to shit on the chessboard, so to speak. I don't even know if that's the right term to use, but fucking aye. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Jeff C, fuck's sake. Jeff C, he's dead now, eh? I still watched Jeff C right up until his death. Aye, fucking Jeff C as well. I probably watched Jeff C before even the Flat Earth. Before I even came across the Flat Earth, I was probably watching Jeff C with the probably was it 9/11 or can I mind? Or was it the flight? Can that fucking Malaysian flight that went missing? And Jeff C, he ended up falling out with the whole community because he believed it happened legitimately. He didn't believe there was any conspiracy behind it, and a lot of people turned on him, and there was big arguments about fucking this flight was it M939 or some shit? Can't remember what the number was of the flight, but I remember Jeff C, man. He was quite a good character to listen to. He had a good speaking voice. One drop of doo doo makes a whole gallon of water doo-doo water. It's very profound there. People even of a higher social standing, doctors, teachers, judges, police, believe in stuff they haven't proven nor they tested for. It's called psychosis. It's called dogma. It's called being dogmatic. And just believing in fucking stuff that you've never experienced or done yourself. You're just going along with it. That's a society we're living in today. It's all these soft virtues we're living in. Again, love. Again, we need these things. Again, but we still need truth and logic. You know what I mean? It's nice to be it's nice to have emotions and can have love and have all these things, but we shouldn't let it override our logic, our truth. Again, there can't be fucking 50-year-old men going around saying they're 5-year-old girls, and for society to accept that just can't happen. There's something fucking wrong with society when we can't speak against that. Or we're the fucking bad, we're the unloving people. Brilliant laugh as well, banging his desk, got a headache one live stream, and that was that. I didn't watch him right up to his death. Like, I kind of dropped out the Jeff C stuff. I think he dropped it for a while, so I just stopped watching him, like, because he disappeared for maybe like a few months. This society globe cult. See, this is another thing that was going around the flat Earth. They were like labeling glober. It was this globe, the globe heads and the globists and the globe cult, and it was like, fuck's sake. I mean, you couldn't really get along with these people because you were in a cult. I mean, and they're the same. They're the fuckers that were in the cult. They were just projecting. They knew they were in a cult, the flat earthers. By saying globe cult, they were just totally projecting. Like, basically, the arseholes that argue against flat Earth, like, fight the flat Earth, and these kind of people, I fucking despise these kind of people. They're disgusting. They're fucking disgusting. They're mutants. Right, guys. It's been a good one, I suppose. I just do these for people to go as well, because I know people like the chats. And not necessarily my voice. You can mute me if you want, but I know people like to come here just to mingle in the chat rooms. I done it a lot back in the day, especially in Flat Earth. I spent more time in the chat rooms than in the chat part than I did up on the actual streams talking to people. And that's how people known me as a dick, actually, because I can type up some dickish stuff, like. But if you speak to me, man, I'm not that much of a dick. I'm not as bad as what I type up. I wouldn't judge me on what I type in chats. Thousands of people each day pointing and screaming shill at each other. I know. Shill. And even the people that they appeared to be shills, I think they were just trying to make money. Like, even guys like Jeranism and Bob, I don't think they were like put in by the government or any shit like that. I think they were just charlatans, can try and make a quick buck off of gullible people. I mean, that's the way I seen it eventually. At first I thought, are these people shills? Because what they done, the way they presented the flat earth was very, very professional. The presentations and stuff like that, kind of video editing, and they were good. I was thinking, are these guys fucking being helped by somebody? But See, when I actually studied it myself and I got into editing, and I was like, this stuff's easy. In fact, you can actually get whole programs that can do this stuff for you. You don't even have to know about editing. You can just chuck in fucking stuff and it'll do it for you. You know what I mean? So the more I learn about the technology used to make these videos, the less, the more I realize that these people are just normal people, just trying to make a quick buck. You know what I mean? They're just buying expensive programs to like make their videos and stuff. I want to meet a shill. Do they sometimes have shillings? Probably shekels. Probably more likely to have shekels. Aye, so on my job today, I was lifting a big heavy piece of furniture into the house for this young couple, but they had the in-laws there. I think it was the guy's in-laws. They came up from England. It was Birmingham they were from. I was carrying this big bit of furniture into the house. And this old guy standing right behind me, and he's got his hand on my back as I'm like edging into the house. And I'm trying to walk back, and he's like right there. I'm like, "Here, mate, do you want to move?" And he looked at me like, oh. I'm like, I'm trying to get in the house. He's like, okay. And he's like, moves out the way, and he's putting his hand on my back as I'm walking in. He's kept his hand like on my back. This guy's like about 70-year-old or something. And I'm sort of looking at him and like, here, mate, you want to take your hand off my fucking back? I said, I've been doing this shit for 20 years. I don't need somebody to put their hand on my back, mate. He's like, oh. Like, fucking hell, man. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's just a wee story from my work today. Some people, you just wonder, are they trying to help, or they try to get involved, or they just... Again, it's weird how some people could be helpful, trying to be helpful, but they're just getting in the way. You find that a lot. People are trying to be helpful, just getting in the way. Kind of, how do you deal with it? I want to... Some people aren't not making money out of it. BTIC, for example. No, I don't think Dell does make money out of it. I believe that he's... To be honest, I think Dell was one of the most genuine at the lot of them. And that's hands down. Dell is because, like you said, he never asked for fuck all. He never even hinted at anything. And even when people offered to give him stuff, he fucking declined it. You know what I mean? So I do believe Dell was never a greedy man that way. But he could have reaped some rewards out of that. Definitely, Dell could have fucking made a few grand out of that. Definitely. And he was talking to some big names out there. He was talking to, what was his name? The MMA guy. Joe Rogan's pal. Oh, fuck. Can't remember his name. You'll remember his name in the chat, whoever it is. But Dell was fucking attracting some big names, like. And he always had the Eric Dubay. Eric Dubay never really liked to go on anyone else's show apart from Dell's. So Dell had this wee thing going on. He was... And he still kind of has, but his videos they get about 5,000 views. Every video, it's like a consistent 5,500, much more than I do. It's much more views than I do. But I didn't do this for any agenda. I mean, there's no agenda behind what I'm doing here. I'm just communicating with the world, my experiences, my thoughts, just wee glimpses. Right, 2 a.m. was my cut-off time. Cheers, Jed, everyone. It might be my cut-off time today, mate. Cheers for stopping by, buddy. Have a good night. NASA makes 64 million a month. If people making money from this one's beef, perhaps don't buy into that. I think SpaceX is going to be the fall guy for NASA. I can feel that coming. I can feel Elon Musk and the Tesla company and all that shit kind of collapsing, and SpaceX going with it because SpaceX is part of Elon Musk, and it's kind of integrated into the NASA. You know what I mean? It is. Right, guys, have a good weekend. Catch you all later.